Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. We're going to do a taste of forest therapy today. There are two ways to do this. One is to be outside. So if you want to let us know in the chat if you're going to stay inside or go outside, that would be nice. I'm going to stay inside. And I'm going to be showing you how you can find nature wherever you are, and how by being near nature, you can get the benefits, the emotional, physical, and mental benefits of forest therapy. And what we're going to do is a few little sections in a forest therapy walk. And after and during each one of the sections, we're going to do a sharing circle. The sharing circle is something that's really very important in forest therapy. It actually really helps and builds on the therapeutic side of things as we listen with an open heart and allow people to feel seen when they share what they're noticing and what they're feeling. So in order to do the in-home or, in your apartment or wherever you are, I'm going to ask people to take 2 minutes to go on a little treasure hunt. And what you might want to have with you to do the forest bathing walk, maybe a seashell or a pine cone that you have collected on some of your walks. I have a cotton ball with a aromatherapy, like an essential oil. And maybe you have a favorite rock that you just like holding or like looking at from your
And
kitchen.
we have one who wrote that he'll be inside and one who wrote that she'll be outside.
Oh, well, enjoy. Um, I also have a seasoning, cinnamon, for smelling. So we're going to do like a sensory awareness. So whatever you can, even if you have like a pillow that you love to sit with and it's soft, or feathers or something like that, things that will bring your senses, bring you closer to nature through your senses. So let's take 2 minutes. I'm timing you to come back with a couple of things that will be touchable, smellable, tasteable, visible, even maybe something that has a sound. I'll call you back in 2 minutes. In the meantime, for people who are already, and maybe you're already outside in your outdoor place, if you would like to put into the chat if you have ever been on a forest therapy walk, or if you are typically somebody who takes walks in general, hikes, what is your outdoor activity that you like to do?
Robin wrote that she loves rowing and kayaking, and Larry wrote a few baths and yes to hiking and working outdoors. Some
And
people wrote directly to me, and you might see one in the chat.
yeah, it's hard for me. It's very hard to do all these things. So
Yeah.
when we
So
all
Alice has done it. Yeah.
when we get back together, can we unmute and put our faces on the screen and do a little circle? A sharing circle?
Mhm.
Oh, Bridget, hi. You. Um, okay, so I'm going to say we're all back together. Is it possible to put us
Advance
on?
the slide.
No, to have us do a first sharing circle. So maybe if everybody wants to unmute themselves, I'll call on you one at a time. I would love for you to introduce yourself and, speaking with an open heart, why you came today or what you're hoping to gain. Okay? And I'll go first. My name is Lori Klamner, and I am a certified forest therapy guide and take people on walks all over, but mainly in New York City, so urban parks. And what I'm hoping to do today is to share some methods for you all to benefit from this practice. And I'm going to call on Alice if you would like to share.
Sure. So I live near Albany, New York, and my intention for this is that I've taken some, not knowing what I was taking, but I guess they were forest baths, from what I've read, but without any real focus or direction. Just I enjoy being in my backyard and in particularly evergreen circles of trees, with the strong scent, um, and feel very much supported and relaxed and centered and grounded when I am doing that. So I look forward to some, I guess, kind of structure, concept of what it is that I'm doing so I can do it more consciously.
Thank you. And Robin, would you like to share?
Sure. I'm outside right now, and I decided to join this because I take care of my mother with Alzheimer's. She's 91. I've been her full-time caregiver. And I just thought it just sounded interesting for me to constantly learn how to relax, and maybe it can also help her.
Thank you. And Bridget?
Um, I've done forest walks with Lori before. It's been a long time because then I started working and had a job and could never go to the ones that she did anymore. So when I saw this inside, I thought it would be a good opportunity to see how it works indoors, because for whatever reason, sometimes I feel like I can't ever leave my apartment. So I'm looking forward to that kind of aspect of this indoor forest bathing.
Thank you, and good to see you. And Larry? You're on mute, Larry.
Greetings, Larry. I serve as Director of Advocacy and Organizing at a big community center, a settlement house here on the Upper West Side. Rather stressful times for advocacy work. You can see hands off Social Security, Medicare, and other items behind me. But I'm taking a break because I definitely need some self-care at moments when it's so busy. And I definitely enjoy getting out into nature and often spend weekends. We have a 25-acre woodlot out in New Jersey, and it's in a forest stewardship program. So I do a lot of work in maintaining as a healthy woods, and that's what keeps me going.
Thank you, Larry. Karen?
Hi, I think I did this with you last time or something. You did it one other time, right?
Yes.
I live in the Boston area. I like to go out for hikes and walks and stuff, but it rained. Otherwise, I was thinking, well, I could do this outside. Maybe I'll switch to it. I don't know. But so this is from some very soft stuff that I got from a walk that I had done in the woods during a 1-day silent meditation retreat type. Well, the whole day wasn't silent, but yeah. And I unfortunately can't come to your ones in the city, but this I guess I can do because it's on Zoom.
Thank you. And Teresa, hello.
Hi, I'm sorry I got in late. What is the question that,
Just introduce yourself and maybe why you're here or what you're looking to, what are you seeking?
okay. I'm retired and, I'm in the midst of fixing my apartment so that I could, stay here, my forever home in a safe and accessible way. Um, and try to avoid nursing homes by all, by all means. So I have plants in my apartment, and I struggle sometimes with um, where to put them, how to organize them, and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that part of your session, and I would love to get out and walk more, but I suffer from a lot of chronic illnesses, so it's very challenging to do that. But I would like to.
And Jeff, do you want to? Oh,
Yeah.
did you share? Okay, go ahead.
I'm a program manager at PSS, and on the side, I have a little side gig as an editor, and I'm trying to increase my walking outside, which fortunately it's spring, so the good weather is coming, and that makes it easier. I'm sitting here with my seashells, and I also brought some nutmeg because I like the smell, and it's herb and it's nature. I have 2 plants at home. One, this plant definer app said that it was an avocado tree, but it doesn't have a bark, but it's getting really tall and the leaves are really big, even though it has a thin bark like that. So I have a couple of plants here. The other plant is called a Hawaiian tea tree, tea bush, T-I bush. And it's really beautiful, and it was dying when I first brought it home from an office I used to work at, but it has been reviving really nicely. I could probably put a photo up. Yeah. So, and I've been on a forest walk with Lori Klamner also, and it was wonderful. It really was. I like I don't want to spoil it, but there was tea at one of the at one of the sections, and I love the tea that they made.
Thank you. So let's get started. Is everybody ready? So this is actually going to be a walk, even an indoor walk. You want to put up the first slide, please?
Okay.
It's only very short amount of slides. It's not a webinar. It's an actual participatory event. So you can read this as fast as I can. It's an introduction to forest bathing. Forest therapy and forest bathing really have the same meaning. I find forest bathing to be sort of a more friendly or more open. Therapy makes people think like, well, they're going to get therapy. It's not like that. It's the forest or being with the nature, being with whatever is natural to you. That's what gives the therapy. So we are doing what I call the American style, it's borrowing from all the different cultures and modern psychology, wellness, Shinrin Yoku, which is of Japanese study of how these walks outside with nature, doing these different sections, activity sections, has lowered blood pressure, pulse rate, cortisol levels. It makes you feel calmer, have a better sense of well-being, sleep better, all these different things. So they have done a lot of research. Also comes from many religious and indigenous practices, and of course, yoga and body work. So basically, it's going outside or indoors in this case to connect with the natural world, whatever that is. It can be just like a couple of street trees on your block. It can be the community garden. It can be a beautiful botanical garden that's very landscaped and not natural, or it could just be like a deep woods experience for improving your well-being. And it also improves the well-being of the world. So the steps for forest bathing are first to slow down. We'll do like a breathing exercise, just slowing down your breathing, using or allowing your senses to get, allowing the senses to be brought in, the sounds, the sights, the degree of light, the winds, if you feel it, the feeling of your clothing. Are you bundled up? Do you have sunlight on your skin? And you soak all that in. And then the third part, which is really the most important part, because it's not just like we're walking along or we're sitting here. It's bringing it back to actually have a second or a minute or 3 minutes or even an hour to really notice how you feel. I'm using the word notice a lot. So we're going to notice through our senses, and then we're going to be coming back to ourselves to notice how we're feeling. And in the bottom, I just say you can be in this giant wilderness, or you can be in your own backyard, or even in your apartment. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. And I think this is going to be our first, what we call invitations. In forest therapy lingo, jargon, whatever, each little section is an invitation. And after the invitation, we do this little circle where we practice listening and we practice speaking from the heart. And if you don't want to share, it's totally fine. So if we're going to go in a circle, I'll call on everybody. And if you don't want to go, that's fine, just pass. But if you then afterwards want to go, just raise your hand. And if I see it, we'll go back to you. So don't feel put on the spot about sharing. You can just go like this, or like point to something or hold something up, or you can have sentences or whatever. But it's because we don't have, hours and hours. We try to do lean sharing, speak from the heart, what you're noticing and what you're feeling. So for now, if everybody finds a place where they are going to spend the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes in a comfortable location, you can be standing, sitting, laying, indoors or out. I'm just going to allow everybody like a couple of seconds to get comfortable. And so this is basically a guided meditation, different from some meditations, because it's not telling you don't let thoughts come in. It's not telling you thoughts are to be pushed out of the way. It's allowing you to notice what you're thinking and try to focus on that. So in your mind, you can unzip your uniform and just sort of get naked in that way where you're just open to the experience. You're not bringing with you your job or your later on what you have to do next or any of these things. I call it unzipping. Unzip yourself and open yourself. And just if you would like to look around, if you're inside, maybe look around the home, look around the room. And if you're outside, look all around, up to the sky, down to the ground. Feel if there's sunlight. Look at the shapes of the different objects around you. And especially if they're from nature, such as trees or plants, or you have a fishbowl or something like that. Just kind of focusing on those natural things. And now slowly just close your eyes. The first sense you're going to notice with your eyes closed is the sense of sound, of hearing. So take a few breaths and just allow your ears. Enjoy the sounds. And you may feel that you're sinking deeper into your seat or leaning against a tree. You can feel that tree kind of against your back or the ground that you're sitting on. And you might have a smell around you. If you have a bowl and you have your sense of smell item, bring it to your nose. If you're sitting with grass, you can kind of just squeeze a leaf or blades of grass. I call it distressing the leaf, like grind it up in your fingers and bring that to your nose. Can you smell? Maybe you can smell the soil. And if you purse your lips, you can kind of sip the air. Or if you have a glass of tea or soda or juice, you can take a sip of that and just luxuriate in the feeling of that in your mouth. And then if you would like to just reach out and touch with your hands. And if you want to push your sleeves up and feel with your forearm, maybe the bark of a tree or the leaf of your plant or the little bumps on your seashell. So we're slowing down and breathing. We're using our senses, allowing the nature to actually really enter our bodies. And now, just in a gentle, gentle focus, how are you feeling? Or what are you noticing? Essentially, this is the forest bathing experience, and the forest therapy is bringing the nature into where you feel safe and comfortable with it. You might want to move your arms out into the space around you. Just do a little stretch if you want to, or let your head move around just to kind of incorporate the movement of relaxation and de-stress and getting rid of tension. You move your wrists in a circle, especially if you are using a keyboard a lot, or if you use tools a lot, or if you're just housekeeping and cleaning a lot, all those things, there's a lot of stress and tension in your arms and your wrists. So in just a minute, give yourself another moment to breathe and focus on whatever has been pleasurable for you. A practice that some people use is to bring a sip of breath in through your mouth and hold it. Hold it for a few beats. And let it out with a big sigh. So let's slowly open our eyes. And once again, look all around. Look around your room. Look around your little garden or your backyard. Look out your window. Oh. And you may see your eyes are a little different. I hope, so Jeff, let's bring everybody back onto the screen and we'll do another circle to share. Okay? And that section was called Pleasures of Presence, but can also just be called a guided sensory meditation. I'll call on Giovanni. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us. Were you able to experience any of that?
Yes, a little bit towards the end, yes.
Well, I'm going to let other people to go around and share. And if you would like to share at the end, I'll come back to you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Karen. Oh, muted. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm not, right? Well, let's see. I chose to lie down on my yoga mat and let you guide me. And in terms of the senses, I have a lavender eye pillow. So I put that on, so that was very nice. And I could hear the birds chirping outside. So that's pretty much it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Larry.
Sorry, taking me a while to get this on. I'm just sitting here with my rocks in front of me, so I focused on the rocks. I always like to imagine how they got shaped, the way they get shaped. This piece of muscovite from inside, formerly inside Manhattan somewhere, but now on my desk. And so thank you for that.
Thank you. Bridget.
Well, I don't think I had anything real specific other than, I mean, it was just nice to have my brain get turned off and focus on what you were saying, and not thinking about anything in particular, which was really nice. And then when I opened my eyes and looked back around, everything in my apartment seemed to look more crisper, almost like it was hazy before, and now the haze was gone. I don't know. I'd never noticed before that, so it was an interesting feeling.
Thank you. Teresa.
I was sitting here with my window open so I could feel, the breeze coming in, and listening to your words, and relaxing. It was very, very relaxing, but yet also feeling nature, the wind coming in, and imagining leaning against a tree and, crumbling up a leaf. It was really, really good sensory experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Alice.
So my sense was one of gratitude that I can be in my office. I have this beautiful pine tree. My office feels like a treehouse, actually, because I have this huge pine tree out my window. And so to be able to do that indoors, I mean, I love this space anyway, but to have your guidance at the same time was extra special. So a lot of gratitude.
Thank you. And Robin.
I'm sitting outside, and when I first sat down, I was very cold. And then as we went through everything, besides the relaxing feeling, I got just a really great warm feeling. Like I just felt warm, like as if my body just was revved up in a positive way, not in a negative way.
Thank you. And Giovanni, if you'd like to share, I know you just joined in the last few minutes.
Yes, was always, I just did literally the last few minutes, but I just feel for the last few minutes, I made me wish I had gotten here earlier because it just, was rolling my, my wrist and, just taking a step back and just relaxing. And I really wish I could have benefited, for maybe 5 more minutes of that.
And
But I felt calmer.
thank you. So I want to reflect back. There's a thing that we call in my forest therapy course arrows to the heart. And it was about well, first that this is going to be recorded, so you can watch it again or listen to it again. And there are many apps and other ways that you can harness this kind of guided meditation. And I encourage people to do that. Yeah, and there was another thing that I already forgot, sorry. Another arrow to the heart. When somebody, it's sort of like bouncing off of what other people are, had said. And definitely, if you go outside or you have a friend who's coming to visit you who's been outside, ask them to bring some leaves in so that you can do that experience of kind of crushing them or distressing them and seeing what they smell like when you really cannot get outside very frequently. Yes, Jeff.
I had no idea that the seashells have bumps. You were saying feel the bumps, and each line is like a bump in the seashell. Uh, I'm getting used to the reading glasses, so looking around, they're reading glasses, but it's blurry if I look far distance. So I was playing with them, and it was also good to be reminded to slow down, because I was like, oh, I gotta rush and pick this up, like I was rushing to get it, and then I was like, oh wait, I'm supposed to slow down. And when you reminded us to do that, that was very helpful, because if you're in the New York metro area, slowing down is like not part of our vocabulary. Also, I enjoyed the smell, where you can have something that you can enjoy the aroma.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So this practice of listening, deep listening, and also speaking from the heart, not just when we say, what do you notice or what are you noticing, but it's also like, are you noticing your feelings? So some people were sharing that. And as we go along, it really is part of the therapy to be in this supportive circle. And I really appreciate that. So let's go to the next slide. I think it's going to be a walking slide. Thank you. Oh, here we go. So how do you walk slowly? The breath. Right. In New York and maybe in Boston and maybe in these other places where we all live, when you go to walk somewhere, you're probably going to get there. Like, I'm going to get the bus. So I'm going to walk to the bus and I've got to hustle, or, even when you don't have to. Somebody used the word today, I forget, it was the name of a supermarket chain in England. They were saying, I'm doing my blah, blah, blah walk, where they were just like almost panting. Because, when you're in the supermarket, you just want to get out of there, right? You're pushing the cart and you're looking for all the things and you just want to finish. So how do you walk slowly? There's like a lot of different tricks and walking. The easiest one I've ever found is when you are breathing in, take a step, and when you're breathing out, take the next step. And then begin to focus, so following your breath as you walk. And we're going to do this in a minute, just walking around our room or the outdoors, wherever we happen to be. And I'm going to invite you to really feel your feet. Feel if you have any pain. Feel if you feel tired or heavy, and think, I feel tired or heavy, or I don't. As you walk, you can experiment with those other senses, the sense of touch, the sense of smell, where you are, even going and touching your window if you're indoors and feeling the temperature. And we can get down on the ground. We can smell the earth. If we're indoors, we can just roll around on our rugs. It's comfortable for you, and on a wood floor, and just listen. At the very beginning of this talk, this afternoon, there was not a pigeon, but a dove out my window cooing, and hoping that I get another bird come by in the next few minutes, but it might not be. And then, so again, what are you noticing? and how do you feel? So when our minds are going, like, it's hard to maintain a meditative state. So we accept that. It's not perfection we're after. So if we're walking around and we're feeling how our feet feel and maybe our hip pain, we're noticing it and we're rubbing that and noticing this tree or this plant or this window or whatever. And then you're noticing, oh, I'm thinking about this thing that I have to do this afternoon, or, oh, I already started thinking about paying my bills, or blah, 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 blah. It's okay. Just now you realize it. You are awakened to the fact that you lost track of focusing on walking, taking a breath for each step, inhaling, exhaling, and seeing what there is around you in this space. And even if you've been in this space, even if you're in your bathroom or your kitchen or some just plain old room in your house, you can be there. You can maintain being present. And it definitely takes practice, so let's practice it. All right. And I will get back, maybe we'll, I don't want to give Jeff too much work because I know Jeff is enjoying the thing too. But let's, you can turn off your video and definitely turn off your sound, mute yourselves if Jeff doesn't do that. And just 5 minutes to walk around your space. Okay, I'm not going to be muted, so I will call you back in 5 minutes. Are we back? So do you want to put us, Jeff, put our faces back up on the screen and we'll do another circle? We go back to this circle. We talked, Giovanna, about the circle, how it's actually really integral part of the therapeutic, emotionally, physically, and mentally therapeutic aspect of forest therapy, because we're in a supportive human connection. We're doing that human connecting thing that, we read all the time how society is so bad because we don't make human connections anymore. And I want to encourage people to just stay connected. So that's why we do it. Sometimes it seems a little bit like, oh, I don't have anything to say, and that's fine. And you can also do a gesture, or you can always pass. And the prompt or the question to focus on is, what are you noticing, or what are you feeling? And if you want to just put your hand up if you want to go. Okay, Jeff.
Yeah, part of my walk was walking over to a plant in the house that I think is an avocado tree. And I noticed that some leaves are dying and other leaves are being born. So there's this youthful freshness on one part of the plant, and then there's sort of a withering, brown around the edges around the other part of the plant. And I thought, wow, so both things are happening at the same time.
Thank you. Anybody else want to raise their hand? Okay, Karen.
So I started with walking inside and barefoot, and then I guess I was trying to figure out if the full breath in and out is on each foot, or so I wasn't sure about that. But because you really slow down if you do the in and the out on just one step. Yeah, is that what you meant? Okay, yeah.
No,
And then
either way, but
yeah, and then I had closed my eyes, so I went left and then right, and then I bumped into a piece of furniture because my eyes were closed. Anyway, then I decided I wanted to go outside. And I noticed that one of my trees, well, I guess in my side yard, is covered, like, has a bunch of moss on its trunk. And I was like, oh, I never noticed this before. So it was kind of nice to notice something I've never noticed, right? If you slow down, then you notice. And then I grabbed some leaves, and then a piece of bark that's kind of moist. It's been raining here. Yeah, so it was nice to go outside. I wasn't sure, do I need a hat? Do I not need a hat? You know, that kind of thing. But yeah, it was good. Being observant, I guess. Paying attention, right?
Thank you. Yes. So Giovanna?
I was gonna say, I'm in the office, so I couldn't really go outside or do a long walk, but and during that time I just lifted, my legs, lifted my knees and as though it's simulating a walk, which I find is actually very difficult, like to continue to doing that. And then I lifted the ankles. So since I couldn't do a walk, I basically was trying to simulate a walk by lifting up my knees, ankles, and then stretching the legs underneath my desk. So I did what I could do.
Thank you.
I did the same, Giovanna.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
And paced it with my breathing, with my slower breathing. So it was interesting to see that I could do that. And it had similar effect probably as if I were, because it's slowing down my heart. It feels like I'm pacing myself.
What I found with the breathing, it was, especially when I was lifting the knees, I had to really concentrate to lift the knees up, and so I would forget my breathing. It's like, okay, I'm lifting up and like almost hold my breath, but when I go down, I would breathe down. As opposed to lifting up breathing and then going down breathing. It's like it seems like I skipped a step, but I try my best not to, but it was just a little bit difficult for me.
It's a challenge.
I think that's there's no right or wrong way to do invitations. I should have said that earlier on too, I forgot, but all the different times that we've done this, we've all done it our own way. Like if we were probably in one place together, we may have mimicked each other a little bit, not necessarily wanting to, but we would sort of look around and see, oh, well, what she's doing is maybe what I should be doing or something. So it actually really worked beautifully that this whole experience has been finding our own way to do that nature connection, our breathing connection. Some people laid on the ground, some people, indoors, some people were outdoors. So it's definitely a true forest therapy experience, what we've been doing. So I'm glad to report that is what happened. And just as I walked around this room, I have a lot of plants, and what I did was I looked at some of them. Their leaves are so different. And I was going to take a leaf from each one and show you, but I didn't want to do that. I got a tulip on Sunday. Did anybody know
Ooh.
about that tulip thing that was going on in Union Square Park? I somehow got to go. So all these leaves are like tipped down, and they're kind of almost not sticky, but like they're not smooth. So every plant that I had, I was noticing, well, maybe not every single plant, but I was noticing its leaf form. And when I'm out in the woods, I'll do something like that. And this time of year, the leaves aren't out yet, but we're getting like the pollen is coming out on some. So you might see in the horizon like this redness, and those are probably maples. And if you see other things that look like pussy willows, I think that might be birch or something like that. So And you don't need to know what it is. It's just to see. I mean, to me, a lot of times the plants actually look like science fiction characters, aliens. So then, you can just imagine that that's how those people who make those movies come up with the shapes for some of their characters. They just go in a garden and check out all the different ways that pollen is formed, and buds are coming out, and all stems and everything, twigs. So that's where my mind wanders. And just walking slowly. So, would anybody like to make up an invitation? Not that we necessarily have time to do it, but
Last time when you did this, you had us do one that we could look up at the clouds. And I'm at like the different shapes of the clouds. Oops.
right, that was the slide that we didn't use because it's totally gray here in New York. So there's not
Yeah.
like,
Right.
but that's
Yeah.
a thing like that, if you're out and just want to focus on something, but you don't have anything to focus on, just look up at the clouds. Thank you. I see Robin is doing it.
How about an invitation to find a space within wherever you are, whether you're outdoors or at home, that is very comfortable for you and brings you closest to nature. Is that a good one?
Beautiful, beautiful. And it's what you look for when you're trying to cultivate an invitation is that it's open. So it's not like count how many spaces there are, or like that. It's just an open idea, and it gives you a focus, and you slowly go to that. And that reminds me that one of the most common practices is called sit spot. And it is basically just having a place that you go regularly to and sit and notice. And when you go to a place, regularly, if you have a backyard or if you go to a community garden, or even just like the trees outside your apartment building, notice through the years how they change, what happens with them. So that is a very popular thing. People do it for minutes and 20 minutes at a time. I love to do that outside, but I'm not good at sitting. So I do it like walking. I do like more of a walking, like walk along the stream or something like that. Open, not saying, see if you see any birds. No, if there's birds, whatever. Listen to the sounds of nature. Walk. Oh, and if you don't know about the breathing and the walking, you can use this phrase if you can remember it or write it down. Walk at the pace of nature. And if you're walking up a hill, your breath might be coming faster. So you don't want to be walking as fast as you're breathing if your breathing is, huffing and puffing. So you just have to, there's no specific pace. Walk at the pace of nature. I really, really, really thank you all for coming. I can't tell you how much. I do have, we were going to put up my email address. So if you want to get in touch with me, and if you're in the New York area, I have some, here it is. It's woodswalkingnyc@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Send me pictures on your adventures and connections to nature. I do have some walks coming up in New York City, so I could, tell you how to find them. And I would love to come to your neck of the woods. If you have a group that would like me to come up there, we could probably arrange something. And thank you.